I'm 29-year-old female, always been romantic and believed in true love. Grew up on Disney movies and romance novels about finding the one. Consider myself feminist, but still want traditional romantic relationship. Recently single after boyfriend of 2 years suddenly ended things. I just don't think love is real anymore. Sorry. Thought he was just afraid of commitment or had cold feet. But his words stuck with me. Seemed genuinely sad rather than scared. Something in his eyes looked broken rather than scared. Like he'd discovered terrible truth about relationships. Start paying attention to how men around me talk about relationships. Notice my male friends are incredibly cynical about romance. Love is just chemical reaction that wears off after a few years. Marriage is business arrangement, nothing to do with feelings. Assume they're just being edgy or trying to sound intellectual, but their attitudes seem genuinely held rather than performative. When pressed for details, they share surprisingly consistent stories. All involve women leaving during difficult periods. Learn that love has expiration date when times get tough. Visit my brother who's 32 and never been in serious relationship. Always wondered why such a great guy stays perpetually single. He's attractive, successful, funny, gets along well with everyone. When I ask about dating, he gives bitter laugh. Love doesn't exist. It's just women using men for resources. Shocked by his cynicism, ask where this attitude comes from. Reluctantly shares story about college girlfriend he thought he'd marry. I was completely devoted to her. Thought we had real connection. Planned to propose after graduation. Had ring picked out. Worked extra jobs to afford perfect diamonds. She hinted about found out she was cheating entire last year of relationship. While I'm planning our future, she's sleeping with 3 other guys. When confronted, she showed no remorse or guilt. Said she was just keeping options open until something better came along. Destroyed his faith in female capacity for genuine emotional attachment. Realized I was just backup plan while she shopped for upgrade. Explains how this pattern repeated in subsequent relationships. Women who seemed loving until better option appeared. Love apparently means loving what you can provide temporarily. Now he dates casually, but never invests emotionally. Why risk heartbreak when outcome is always same? Attend high school reunion. Reconnect with male classmates, surprised by how bitter they all seem about relationships. These used to be optimistic romantic guys in school. Now they talk about women like predatory animals. They only want what they can get from you. Love is just word women use to manipulate men into providing. Ask my old friend Ryan about his attitude change. Shares story about wife who left him after cancer diagnosis. She promised in sickness and in health, lasted about 6 months. While he was going through chemotherapy, she filed for divorce. Said she couldn't handle being caregiver, needed someone healthy, took half his assets while he was fighting for his life. That's when I learned love has conditions women don't mention. Describes how she moved in with new boyfriend immediately while he was still bald from chemo treatments. New guy had full head of hair and clean bill of health. Apparently, love means loving perfect version of person. Another classmate shares similar story about job loss. Wife supportive during good times gone when company downsized. She said she needed man who could provide security. 3 years later, she's married to my former boss. Love lasted exactly as long as paycheck did. Start talking to men in my extended family about relationships. Uncle who got divorced after 20 years of marriage. Thought we had strong partnership until she met richer guy. One wife left for man who could provide better lifestyle. Love apparently means loving what you can provide, not who you are. Describes decades of devotion meaning nothing when upgrade appeared. Raised her kids, supported her dreams, built life together. But dentist with bigger house trumped 20 years of commitment. Cousin, whose fiancé called off wedding 2 weeks before ceremony. Found someone better on dating app. Sorry for inconvenience. After 3 years together and thousands spent on wedding, realized I was placeholder until upgrade became available. Wedding venue deposits lost, honeymoon flights forfeited. Meanwhile, she's posting engagement photos with new guy. Apparently, love means keeping options open until last minute. Begin noticing pattern in stories men share about relationships. Women leaving when men face financial or health difficulties. Promises of loyalty, abandoned when circumstances change. Conditional love that evaporates under pressure. Men learn that female commitment isn't actually commitment. Attend family barbecue. Overhear conversation between male relatives. Discussing how women behave during relationship difficulties. Mine left when I got laid off. Couldn't handle reduced income. Ex-wife filed for divorce when depression got bad after dad died. Girlfriend dumped me when accident left me with permanent limp. Pattern of women abandoning men during vulnerable periods while expecting unconditional male support during their struggles. Creates impression that female love is transactional rather than genuine. Cousin Mark shares story about supporting girlfriend through law school. Paid her tuition, living expenses, provided emotional support. She said I was love of her life. Couldn't do it without me. Week after passing bar exam, she ended relationship. Needed fresh start for new career. I reminded her of struggling student days. Immediately started dating partner at law firm. My investment in her success paid off for another man. Visit coffee shop. Overhear group of guys discussing dating apps. Women swipe based on salary and height. Nothing about personality. They're shopping for lifestyle upgrade, not romantic partner. Love means finding guy who checks all boxes on their list. Describe women treating dating like consumer comparison shopping. Reducing men to set of qualifications rather than human beings. No consideration for emotional connection or compatibility. Show each other screenshots of dating conversations. Women asking about income before agreeing to meet. What do you drive? Where do you live? What's your job title? Treating potential relationships like loan applications. Love apparently requires financial pre-approval process. Friend Tom shows me his dating profile interactions. Women asking about income, car, living situation before meeting. Do you own your home? What's your credit score like? Treating potential relationships like loan applications. Love apparently requires financial pre-approval process. Woman unmatched him after learning he rents apartment. Guess love requires property ownership now. Another woman ended conversation when he mentioned roommate. Successful men don't need roommates. Red flag. Reducing complex human beings to financial status indicators. Start observing how women in my social circle talk about boyfriends. Mine needs to step up his career game if this is going long term. Thinking about upgrading to someone with better earning potential. He's sweet, but I need man who can provide lifestyle. Describing romantic partners like jobs they might quit for better offer. No discussion of emotional bonds or genuine affection. Purely calculating assessment of what men can provide. Friend Jessica constantly evaluating boyfriend's performance. He's good, but not great. Might need to trade up. Love him, but he's not ambitious enough for marriage material. Treating 3-year relationship like job performance review. Boyfriend has no idea he's being evaluated for replacement. When he got promotion, suddenly became perfect marriage material. Love apparently fluctuates with salary increases. Attend wedding, where bride's speech focuses entirely on groom's achievements. So proud of his successful business and beautiful home he bought us. Grateful for man who can give me everything I dreamed of. No mention of loving him as person or being attracted to his character. Wedding celebration of financial arrangement rather than romantic union. Groom looks uncomfortable during speech, focusing on his utility. Reception conversations reveal similar attitude from other women. She really landed a good one. Look at that house. Smart girl. Dentists make excellent money. Discussing marriages like successful business acquisitions. No mention of emotional compatibility or genuine affection. Notice how women respond to men going through difficult times. Friend Sarah immediately lost interest when boyfriend got laid off. I can't date someone who doesn't have stable income. Need man who has his life together. Not project to fix. No consideration for supporting partner through temporary setback. Love apparently conditional on maintaining success and stability. Same. Sarah expects unlimited support when she faces problems. Boyfriend should provide emotional and financial assistance during her struggles, but she owes no reciprocal support during his difficulties. That's different. Women need security and stability. Contrast with how men support women during difficulties. Watch male friends rally around female friend going through depression. Provide emotional support, practical help, financial assistance. Never question whether she's worth investment during hard times. Unconditional care that women rarely reciprocate for men. Friend Mike spent months helping female friend through breakup. Daily phone calls, expensive dinners, emotional support. When he faced similar situation, she was too busy to help. Men are supposed to handle problems alone. Start questioning women's capacity for selfless love. Observe how quickly female attraction fades during male struggles. Job loss, illness, family crisis all trigger female relationship exits. While men expected to provide unwavering support during female difficulties creates impression that women incapable of genuine, unconditional love talk to divorced men about their marriage experiences. Wife said she loved me, but left when money got tight. Claimed to adore me until better option came along. Promised forever but meant until something changes. Consistent pattern of female love having unspoken conditions. Men discovering that promises meant nothing when tested. Learn that male cynicism comes from repeated betrayal experiences. Neighbors share story about wife leaving during father's illness. Spent months caring for dying parent. Wife complained about attention. She said I was neglecting her needs for selfish family drama. Filed for divorce while he was planning funeral. Love lasted until it required sacrifice on her part. Join online discussion about modern relationships. Men sharing stories about conditional female love. Women leaving during cancer treatment, job loss, family deaths. Learn that I love you means I love what you do for me. Pattern so common it's created entire generation of cynical men who view female expressions of love as manipulation tactics. Read hundreds of similar stories from men worldwide. Consistent theme of women abandoning relationships during hardship. She loved my success, not me as person. Marriage vows apparently have escape clauses women don't mention. Start examining my own relationship history with new perspective. Realize I've been conditional in my affections too. Lost interest in boyfriends who showed weakness or vulnerability. Loved them for what they provided rather than who they were. Excitement about relationships always tied to their achievements. Never considered supporting man through genuine difficulties. Remember boyfriend who got laid off during recession? My immediate thought was disappointment rather than sympathy. How could he let this happen to us? Treated his unemployment as personal failing rather than economic reality. Started looking at other options while pretending to be supportive. Relationship ended when he sensed my withdrawal of affection. Participate in group chat where female friends discuss relationships. Time to trade up. Current guy isn't meeting expectations. Love him, but needs someone more ambitious. He's great, but can't provide lifestyle I want. Casual discussion of replacing romantic partners like outdated phones. No recognition that men might form genuine emotional attachments. Treating male feelings as irrelevant to relationship calculations. Friend Lisa describing boyfriend like defective product. He's sweet and caring, but only makes $45K per year. Need to find someone with better earning potential. No consideration that he might genuinely love her. Dismissing 3 years of devotion because salary insufficient. Spent evening reading men's perspectives on love and relationships. Women mistake transaction for emotion. Love means different things to men and women. We love people. They love what people can do for them. Consistent theme that men and women experience love differently. Men form emotional bonds. Women form strategic partnerships. Male romantic investment rarely reciprocated with equal female commitment. Discover online forums where men discuss relationship experiences. Not bitter hatred, but genuine sadness about female nature. Wanted to believe in fairy tale romance. Learned that women see men as utility providers. Love is business arrangement disguised as emotion. Thousands of men sharing identical revelations about female behavior. Creates community of men who've given up on romantic love. Decide to test theories by observing couples in public, shopping mall, restaurants, social events. Notice how women treat male partners during stress. Man drops phone. Woman criticizes him for being careless. Woman drops phone. Man immediately helps and comforts her. Car breaks down. Woman blames man for poor maintenance. Man's car breaks down. He apologizes to woman for inconvenience. Consistent pattern of female criticism versus male accountability. Realize that men don't believe in love because they've learned love isn't real. At least not the way they understand and experience it. Women's version of love is conditional, calculating, replaceable. A men's version is unconditional, emotional, permanent. Incompatible definitions create inevitable disappointment. Attend therapy session with ex-boyfriend to get closure. Ask him to explain his comment about love not being real. I loved you completely. Would have done anything for you, but realized you loved having boyfriend, not actually loving me. When I stopped meeting your expectations, love disappeared instantly. Describes feeling like employee who got fired rather than partner in relationship. Real love doesn't evaporate when circumstances change. Therapist tries to mediate but reveals her own biases. Men need to understand that women require security and stability. It's natural for women to seek better providers. Even Professional acknowledges female love is conditional, validates that women's calculating approach to relationships is normal. Realize that men's cynicism about love is protective mechanism. Learn through experience that female love is conditional. Better to avoid emotional investment than face inevitable betrayal. Visit elderly male relatives to get generational perspective. Grandfather married 50 years before grandmother died. Women used to need husbands for survival. Now they want husbands for lifestyle enhancement. Explains how economic independence changed female relationship behavior. Modern women love what you provide, not who you are. Grandmother loved me through poverty, war, illness. Today's women leave at first sign of difficulty. Uncle who remarried after divorce shares similar observations. First wife left when business failed. Second wife stayed because she's from traditional culture. American women trained to see men as replaceable resources. Describes how cultural values affect female loyalty. Women from traditional societies more likely to honor commitments. American women trained to prioritize personal satisfaction over partnership. Attend college friends' divorce hearing as moral support and watch proceedings reveal female perspective on marriage. Wife's lawyer arguing for maximum alimony and asset division. She sacrificed career to support his success. Husband worked 80-hour weeks while she managed household. Both contributed, but only his contribution valued financially. Love apparently means paying for privilege of being left. Friend loses house, custody, and half future earnings. Wife immediately starts dating divorce lawyer. Love lasted exactly until she got better deal. 6 months of observation reveals uncomfortable truth. Men don't believe in love because women taught them it doesn't exist. At least not the unconditional permanent love men seek. Female love is strategic, temporary, based on ongoing performance. Male disbelief in love is rational response to consistent female behavior, not character flaw or commitment phobia. Start questioning fundamental assumptions about gender and relationships. Maybe men and women have different biological programming. Female hypergamy, designed to secure best possible resources. Male pair bonding designed for long-term emotional attachment creates inevitable conflict when both expect other to love their way. Attend wedding planning session with engaged friend. Listen to conversations about prenuptials and financial arrangements. Need to protect myself in case things don't work out. Planning for relationship failure before marriage even happens. Groom uncomfortable discussing divorce scenarios during wedding planning. Bride treating marriage like business contract with escape clauses. Love forever apparently requires legal protection from love forever. Speak with married men about their relationship experiences. Consistent theme of walking on eggshells to maintain female approval. Have to keep performing to keep her interested. Marriage is job where you can't quit but can get fired. Describing relationships as ongoing auditions rather than partnerships. Constant pressure to maintain attraction through achievement. Wives evaluating husbands like employers evaluating employees. Visit male friends who've chosen permanent bachelorhood. Expected bitter misogynist but find content. Peaceful men. Gave up chasing something that doesn't exist. Found happiness in hobbies, friendships, personal growth. Not angry about female nature, but accepting of biological reality. Women can't help being hypergamous any more than men can help being romantic. Learn to find fulfillment outside romantic relationships. Some hire professional services for physical needs. Others focus entirely on platonic relationships and personal interests. Many report greater life satisfaction after abandoning romantic pursuit, stopped chasing fairy tale, and started living real life. Now understand why brother stays single by choice. Why male friends avoid serious relationships. Why divorced men don't remarry. They've learned that female love is business arrangement, not emotional bond worth risking hard and resources. Men's romantic cynicism is learned behavior from female actions, not inherent male inability to commit or love. Women created male disbelief in love through conditional behavior. Begin recognizing this pattern in my own female friends. None have ever supported male partner through genuine hardship. All have left relationships when circumstances became difficult. Love always conditional on man. Maintaining performance standards. Realize that I've contributed to male cynicism about relationships. Never offered unconditional support to struggling boyfriends. Treated romantic partners like service providers rather than people. Expected constant performance while offering minimal reciprocal investment. Part of system that teaches men love isn't real. Spend months trying to find examples of women showing unconditional love. Search through social media, literature, personal experiences. Overwhelming evidence supports male perspective about female nature. Rare examples of female loyalty usually involve exceptional circumstances or women from traditional cultures with different values. Modern American women consistently demonstrate conditional love based on male performance rather than emotional attachment. 6 months later, completely different understanding of relationships. Men aren't commitment phobic, they're protection focused. Learned through experience that female love evaporates during hardship. Rational response is avoiding emotional investment in conditional relationships. Women wonder where good men went without understanding they drove them away through consistently demonstrating that love is transactional. Men adapted by treating relationships as transactions too, or avoiding them entirely to protect emotional well-being. Begin dating differently with this new understanding. Offer genuine support during difficult times rather than criticism. Focus on emotional connection rather than material benefits. Try to demonstrate unconditional acceptance rather than conditional approval. Difficult to change ingrained patterns, but necessary for real relationships. Realize that feminist narrative about male commitment issues is backwards. Men desperately want committed, loving relationships. Women are ones who treat commitment as conditional arrangement. Male romantic cynicism is defensive response to female behavioral patterns, not character flaw requiring correction through therapy or social pressure. Learn that love means different things to different genders. Men seek unconditional emotional bonds. Women seek conditional resource partnerships. Acknowledging this difference might help both sides adjust expectations, rather than pretending both genders experience love identically. Men's disbelief in love is evidence-based conclusion, not psychological problem requiring treatment. Women created this disbelief through consistent conditional behavior. Want to change male attitudes? Need to change female actions first. If this confession kept you hooked, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. We share powerful true stories every day that explore the complex realities of life.